pod, so get deep, going deep, Chad and JT.
Headphones on. Starting the pod now. Oh, mama. What's up, Stokers of Stoke Nation? This is Chad Kroger coming in with the Going Deep with Chad and JT podcast. Guys, before we begin, I want to remind you once again that we are brought to you by Manscaped. Manscaped, thank you so much for keeping our trims pubed, for looking after our hogs, for making sure that our dongs have the proper groin grooming, because when you see a dude and you feel that energy from him, you know that he trims his pubes with Manscaped. And we have the new product, the Lawnmower 3.0.
Look at that beauty.
It has gold on the box, gold lining. I mean, we were talking earlier, they use probably laser technology to laser pinpoint your pubes and just zap them away. So, guys, don't miss out on a true modern feat of technology. This is like the pyramid, ancient pyramid of pube trimming.
It's great.
Thanks. And I'm joined by my... First off, Keith, do you manscape?
I do not have one of those. My roommate does, and he can't stop talking about it.
Nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
What does he say?
He says it's unbelievable. It gets... I mean, I think his girlfriend's happy about it too.
Dude, you got to follow up and do the same.
They have there's like ball cream and everything.
Nice.
Wow.
How do you tend to your area?
Classic scissors and an old school. It's not a lawnmower, but it's like a trimmer.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah,
That works,
Nice.
but, you know, the Lawnmower 3.0 is... If you want an upgrade and sort of a smooth operation going...
Something specifically designed for the job.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be upgrading.
Yeah.
Better match fit.
Nice. All right, sweet. And I'm here with my compadre, Sean Thomas. What up?
Boom, clap, Stokers.
And we're here to Keith, what is your last name, by the
It's
way?
Eckert.
Keith Eckert,
It's a good name.
endurance athlete. How would you describe yourself?
I would say I'm just an average bro, because I know you guys, I like your guys' mission statement, just giving advice to average bros. Definitely an average bro, but I like to push out of my comfort zone and do these endurance races that I once thought maybe were impossible, but you just keep doing them and pushing out of your comfort zone, and then you realize it is possible to do things that others might not think you can do.
Were you always a good runner?
No, I was a terrible runner.
What was your sport growing up?
So I wrestled growing up, and I ran to cut weight. And so I didn't really like running at all because I was losing weight. Like I was hungry. And then once, I don't know, I started to get a little bit older and slowed the pace down. I realized running could be fun. And I wasn't running on the streets anymore. I was running in trails and beautiful scenery out here in California. So.
Right. Very topography.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What inspired you to get involved in these competitive endurance events?
So when I was in high school, I read a book called Born to Run.
Yeah.
And
I heard that's good.
Yeah, it's a great book. And I was a terrible runner. But I read this book because I heard someone, they run 100-mile races. And I remember running like 10 miles one time. Like, dude, that's far. Like I
it's
just
very
did
far.
10.
I've never run 10 miles.
So then to hear people running 100 miles, I just couldn't believe it. So I read the book, and that motivated me. And in high school, I said one day I'd like to run these far distances. And then when I turned about 26 or 25, I did my first 50-mile race.
Wow.
Nice. How'd you do?
It was terrible. It was a mountain race. I was totally underprepared. I trained the entire time in Coronado, so at no elevation.
Right.
And then I was training with my buddy, and he was more stoked on it than I was. Like, let's do this 50-mile race. And I was kind of like, all right, whatever, I'll give it a shot. And a day before the race, he's like, dude, I can't do it. He's like, he wasn't able to do the race.
Why?
He got really sick. I think he something with his appendix. He might have got his appendix taken out.
Yeah.
But then, and at the time, I didn't own a car. But I was out of the Navy, and I was working for this like wealthy guy in Coronado. And he's like, oh, dude, he drove a Maserati. He's like, you can take my Maserati.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And so these running events.
4-door or 2-door?
It was
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. It was a Maserati.
Nice.
So he's like, dude, take my car. And these running events are very granola and great people, but I mean, everyone's driving a Subaru, and I showed up late, and I pulled up in a Maserati, and everyone's like, who's this asshole, and totally was underprepared, didn't have the right shoes, forgot my watch, forgot my headphones.
What shoes did you wear?
I love the brand, it's Saucony.
Yeah.
But they're street shoes, and this was a very technical mountain race.
Right.
And so I rolled my ankle about 100 times, finished the race, fat, like massive black and blue ankles, swollen.
Yeah.
And then all I wanted to do was get out of there. I'm like, I can't wait to finish this race just so I can leave because I was so miserable. And then I drove, it was 3-hour drive back to where I was staying in Carlsbad, and I couldn't even get out of the car. I like immediately got in the car, did this 3-hour drive through traffic. By the time I get there, I opened the door and I couldn't get out of the car. It was like in Wolf of Wall Street when Leonardo DiCaprio was trying to get into the Ferrari. It was just like that. I was staying with this girl and I called her. I was like, you got to come downstairs and help me out of this car because I can't get up.
Right.
And after that, I was like, there's no way. I was like, that was 50 miles. How does anyone run 100 miles?
Right.
And from there, my mind just kept going, I'm going to keep doing this. I want to keep doing this because it was uncomfortable. But I was like, how does someone do 100 miles? And then I finished my first 100 miler and then I read about 200 miles. I was like, how does someone do that? So I signed up for that. And then 240 miles, how does someone do that? And
So what's the longest you've run?
243 miles.
So is that straight?
It's ready, set, go. And you have time limits. So you can stop if you want, but if you miss that checkpoint, they take you out of the race.
Wow.
So do you stop to eat?
You'll stop to eat, and you call them dirt naps. So you'll just like, you're running and you're getting so tired and you're hallucinating and all you want to do is sleep. So you just like, all right, that spot looks fine. You just fall over on the trail and you run a little backpack maybe that you have a jacket in or some warmer clothes. Because as soon as you stop, and some of these races are pretty like 10,000 feet in the air in October, so it's snowing or so you need to stay warm. But you just take set your watch, take a 15-minute nap. And
What are the hallucinations like?
the hallucinations for me are always weird. I always see like a house, or like, oh, there's a house. Cool, like I'm really thirsty. I'm out of water. There's a house over there. And then like as you start to go towards the house, you're like, whoa, actually there's nothing there. Mm-hmm. That's my biggest one is seeing buildings in the middle of the
Like a
woods.
mirage.
That's
A
crazy.
mirage, yeah. And it usually happens on these longer races. So the 200-mile races, like when I'm like 48 hours in and you haven't really slept yet.
That doesn't freak you out? You're like, my brain's making images up?
No, it definitely freaks you out, but it's exciting. It's
You're like, cool.
Yeah. It's a natural high. It's a runner's high of just. It is freaky, but it's exciting at the same time because you're pushing that limit that you don't really know if you can go much further.
Right.
Or like for example, in the Moab 240, I was so tired, but it was also so cold, and I didn't have the right cold gear at the time that if I knew if I fell asleep, I might get hypothermia or something like that. So just to force yourself to do something that you don't want to do, like all I wanted to do was stop and sleep. I did not want to run anymore.
Right.
But to push yourself beyond that point, it almost wakes you up a little bit because there is like a sense of danger. Like I can get hypothermia. It's snowing out.
Yeah, but how do you know if what you're experiencing is like something that genuinely calls for you to quit the race, or it's just your body wanting some relief, but not necessarily you're not in danger?
It's weird because I've never felt really in danger, but and only in one of the races I've ever felt like quitting. It was the first 100-mile race I ever did, and I'm coming to a checkpoint, and it was probably like 6 miles in between checkpoints. So you get to this one station, and they might have water or food for you. And then I had 6 miles to go to the next one, and I did not feel like running. My knees were killing me. Everything was just aching. And I remember just being like, okay, let me just try to get to the next checkpoint. And in that 6 miles, like you're probably only going 20-minute miles at that point because you're walking. So it took a while, and that's when like quitting finally set in. And it wasn't, but you stop, you think about it for a second, and you're like, you know what, I'm actually fine. And I feel like every time I've done a race, I've come to that point. At least in 200 miles, you're going to come to that point 10 times in the race, and you definitely grow from it. But I don't know if I've ever felt in danger where I'm like, I need to call for help.
Right. Dude, you're making me want to work out. I'm like, man, I got to go to the gym after this.
Yeah,
My neck's been hurting. I'm not even doing push-ups right now. Like, it's
Oh,
too
you're not
much.
doing anything?
No, it hurts.
It seems like in those races, you know how you get like a second win. Seems like you'd have to have like 5 or 6 wins.
Definitely, 100%.
Like in that first 50-mile race, even that is so long. How would you? I mean, I'm sure once you got to like mile 10, you were just like, what the fuck? What kept you going in that first one?
For me, it would be almost, I don't want to say embarrassment because I kind of told a lot of people
Shame.
that I'm doing this run.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I didn't want on Monday for them to be like, oh, how was the run? And be like, oh, I quit 10 miles in.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't, and I wouldn't personally quit, but yeah, just, and I enjoy when people like, what, you ran 50 miles, and they get excited for me.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
like, that's cool. Like, so I don't want to let them down and be
Yeah.
like, hey, my buddy's running 50 miles this week, and then not do it.
Yeah.
So,
Reminds me of the
Gotcha.
time I was at Buffalo Wild Wings and I did the Buffalo Wild Wing Challenge, and I quit after my first wing.
oh no.
Did you? Why?
It was too much.
It was too
It was
hot.
too spicy. I was like, I can't do it. And I was chugging milk, and then a lady 3 tables over beat
Yeah.
it.
No.
Like 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you let your buddies down at all?
No, because I fucking took it to my max. I had my shirt off.
Yeah.
I was like pouring milk on my body. Like I really did just hit the roof. Yeah.
I can relate to not that it's anything close, but last year my brothers and I, we skinned up a mountain.
Okay.
Just a ski mountain. It's like 3,000 feet. But in that first, like, you know, that first half of it, you're just like, you're just like, what am I doing? This is
Yeah.
insane. Like, I'm tired. Like, it's cold as shit. But then I got addicted to that feeling of like reaching the top.
Yeah.
And it was such a after I did it, I was like, I'm gonna do this tomorrow. Like this, it's so I can totally sort of understand where you're coming
Right.
from with that feeling of, because it's such like a tangible thing of accomplishing that race or like getting to the top of that mountain. It's like the best feeling.
Yeah, because you pushed outside of your comfort zone a little bit, and you're like, oh, it wasn't that bad. So what can I do now? Like, how much further can I push out of this comfort
Yeah.
zone
Yeah.
until finally you just, I mean, everything. Like, now I don't mind. I could sign up for a race tomorrow if I had to. I feel, because even if I'm not trained for it, I could just push out. I've felt crappy before. I remember what those feelings feel like. And a lot of times I'll take up my phone if I have my phone on me, and I'll note it, like a mile 71. Remember, you wanted to quit. This is how you felt.
Right.
And then I'll read back and I was like, dude, that wasn't that bad. Like,
You know it'll
Yeah.
pass.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, this too shall pass.
That's so important.
Mhm.
It's hard to remember that too.
It is.
Yeah.
Because I mean, your mind will sort of be like, dude, just quit. Like that 100-mile race. I was like, who cares? Like, I'm not doing this for anyone
Yeah.
besides myself. And then once I said, well, you're doing this for yourself, like this means something to you, so finish this race. And it sucked, but then, you know, you get that high again and you can start running again. I was walking for 6 miles and all I wanted to do is quit. I felt sorry for myself and I was like, that's stupid, man. Just, you know, you've been uncomfortable before, just push a little further. And then you can always relate back to that, like whatever you're doing. If I was at work and work sucked, I'd be like, well, I've been in worse moments than this. So
Yeah.
I feel I can always relate back to some of these races and use those low moments as positive, like looking for the positive in those low moments
Yeah.
has helped me in life just in general.
For sure. Is it the same cast of characters at every race?
Yeah. I'm telling you, the people that run these races, like, they are the most interesting people of all time. There's just some awesome people, because I'm definitely usually one of the youngest people out there.
Yeah.
A lot of them are in their are up, 40s or 50s, and they're just some characters, man. But you see the same people; they're awesome. They're just, and I've done 10 races where they've done some 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 races over 100 miles long,
Right.
and they're just like expert woodsmen, I would say sometimes, because they've experienced so many ups and downs in their life just from running these races.
Yeah.
They're all so positive. It's a great community to be around.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah, there's probably no mopey
No.
endurance
Yeah.
runners.
No.
What do you run? Do you have like a partner that you run with, or are you mostly solo?
Mostly solo. I definitely have a lot of friends that run, but mostly all my runs are solo. I'll get up in the morning and try to do 5 to 6 miles sometimes. On the weekends, I'll add distance, but I mostly run solo.
What do you think about when you're like deep in an endurance run, when you're like 50 miles in, 60 miles in? Do you have like normal thoughts? Like you're like, what am I going to do tomorrow?
Yeah,
Or-
in like Forrest Gump, when he's like in the running scene, when he's like,
Yeah.
oh, I think about Bubba and I think about Lieutenant Dan and Mama, but mostly I think about Jenny.
Yeah.
I think about that quote a lot, actually.
Oh, really?
And then I think about like, who is my Bubba, who's
Who's
my
your
Lieutenant Dan,
who's
my
your
Mama,
Jenny?
who's my
Yeah.
Jenny. Yeah.
Who's your Lieutenant Dan?
Definitely my Lieutenant Dan is the guy I work for now. His name's Bryant Tucker. Shout out to him.
Yeah, you're hitting this too much. I'm sorry.
That's
Dad.
getting excited. But
It's all
I'd say,
good.
yeah, he's my Lieutenant Dan. He's my boss now. He's someone I don't want to let down. So
Right.
yeah,
That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Who's your Bubba?
I have a couple Bubbas, man. I've made some good friends, so I have a handful of Bubbas. I don't want to say anyone's name. So,
Okay, yeah. Yeah, you have a friend here now, someone that I know, but he can't be on camera due to the nature of his work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're actually doing work to help people who are in the armed services,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, I've done a few. This will be my second endurance event for people in the armed services. I did a swim. It was a 16-mile swim in Maine, and that was for a group called Seals for Sunshine, and it's for kids with with terminal cancer or any terminal sickness, they go to this camp in Maine, and they get to have fun for a week and, you know, be around other kids that are sick too, and just act like a kid and have fun. And there's events for them. And so we swam 16 miles of this lake, and I think we raised about $75,000.
Oh, nice.
And so that pays for, that money goes to military families for kids that have terminal cancer. So because the camp is open to anyone with any disease that needs help, and it helps their families too. So that money went to purposely for military families that may have kids with a disease and something that something that's terminal. And so that was my first event, and I wasn't a good swimmer at the time neither, but I'd been asked by another guy, like, hey, can you join the swimming group? And
How is swimming compared to running?
Swimming is so boring because you think about it, we were in a lake, your head's like face down in a lake.
Yeah, you don't know, like,
No,
it's hard to gauge the distance.
It's murky water, you're looking up every couple, strokes for a breath.
Yeah.
Every 40 minutes or so, we'd kind of pull up to the boat and they'd toss us some food and we'd eat our food, and then, all right, get to swimming again.
What do you eat?
It's weird because you don't want to eat. Like, you're swimming, so you think about, like, just being in the pool. You don't want to really, especially when you're working out, you don't want to eat food. I ate a lot of PB&Js and a lot of Snickers bars.
Nice.
Just because I wanted something sweet. The water tasted like crap, so,
Yeah.
What's your diet like these days?
That's why I think I'm definitely just an ordinary bro, because like there's like these super athletes that really focus on their diet, and I don't like, I'll eat pizza, I'll eat like, junk food. I have a fairly normal diet, but I feel I can eat a lot because I run a lot. Mm-hmm. So I can eat. I don't mind eating crappy food and going out and drinking a bunch of beers sometimes because I know, oh, this week I'm going to run 50 or so miles.
Yeah, Rod Smith, the football player, wide receiver for the Broncos, ESPN did a profile on him where he's like, everybody talks about how healthy they eat. He's like, all I eat is cereal. They follow him to the store, and then they film him at night going to bed. He's just eating tricks, and he's like, tomorrow I'm going to go out there and dominate.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
I've been lucky in that sense where I can really eat what I want. Recently, I've tried to do plant-based. I mean, I'm not super successful at it, but I've been giving it a shot, trying to consciously give it a shot.
Sure, it's noble.
Yeah. It's hard.
I've learned more and more that it's important to have a balance.
Yeah.
Like if you're going so hard in one, like super strict in one diet, then like it's got to give a little bit.
Yeah.
Like you got to indulge.
And everything in moderation.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Even moderation in moderation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sometimes you got to go extreme.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think that variance is good for the brain, because if you get too stuck in one way of doing things, I mean, obviously some things you need that, like, sobriety for some people, but for the most part, it's like mix it up a little bit. Your brain craves that.
Yeah. And it does get monotonous, I feel, just like, oh, I'm going to be plant-based forever, which is, I mean, I grew up eating meat, so it's hard to just give that up, but I'm consciously trying to do that.
Yeah, like Ralphie Cifaretto said, I eat fucking pork and meat by the fucking truckload.
Yeah.
Something like that. By the carload. So you grew up in Arizona?
Yeah.
And then did you go to the Naval Academy for wrestling?
I went to the Naval Academy. I got in like not as I wasn't recruited. Then I went to the Naval Academy prep school and I wrestled. Naps, yeah.
In Rhode Island.
In Rhode Island.
I had buddies who went there.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Those fellas would get bored. I'm talking.
Really?
Yeah, they'd come home. They were like stapling their arms for fun, and like they were all having sex with fleshlights. Maybe that was just my friends.
No, dude, that's boarding school.
Yeah, that's what I think it is.
It's a fifth year of high school. It's boarding school, and it does get boring.
They became like huge weekend warriors.
Oh yeah.
Like when we go partying, they were like, "We're gonna fucking rage."
It's funny. I swear, like military academies, especially, like they almost breed just weekend warriors like that, because Monday through Friday we can't go out.
Yeah.
And so then, all right, you have 12 hours on Saturday. You're like, all right, well, I got to drink for that entire week.
Yeah,
I just
pack it in,
party.
get your bang for your buck.
Yeah. It's tough to keep like hormonal teenagers in captivity.
Yeah.
Like, cause I was in captivity like that. I was at boarding school for like whatever. And we were so desperate to get fucked up. They were like, we heard if you eat a lot of nutmeg, then you get fucked up. So we ate like a jar full of this nutmeg spice.
Does it work?
I felt kind of stoned, but it wasn't worth it because of my mouth. It was like eating cinnamon.
You were like,
you probably
just
get sick.
Yeah. I was like, how much do I eat? It's just like, I felt kind of.
I knew a kid at Wilderness Camp, which is where they send like bad kids to like learn chores.
Yeah.
And he came back and he was much better for it. But he was like, yeah, when I first got there, we'd cover a rag in like paint cleaner, bury it for a week, piss on it, shit on it, then pull it out, drain it, and drink that.
That's some good stuff.
And he's like, yeah, I got fucked up. I was like, I bet. Yeah. That sounds like it would do the trick.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah. So you were at Naps.
Went to Naps, wrestled there, and
What weight were you?
I was 133 pounds and then 141 pounds.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you like wrestling?
I do like wrestling. I
is
think
cool, man.
It's my
It's fun.
favorite sport.
It's the best.
Because it sucks.
And
Like,
it's the
that's
most
why-
elemental, too.
Yeah.
It's like it's the first sport, I feel like.
Yeah.
Besides running, maybe.
Yeah.
Just grab another guy and put him on his back.
Yeah, it sucks, and like I wasn't that great, so I constantly got like beat up all the time. But I think that builds character. I
That
like
was
to
good
hope
for
it
you.
builds character. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kind of learned to love it.
yeah. Like all right, I'm gonna get my ass kicked again. today.
Did you wrestle like the Ohio States and all those?
No, I never did. I was rarely in the lineup. I was more of just a backup and get beat up.
But you supported the fuck out of your dogs.
yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, you know, I wanted them to do well.
Yeah, you sent me a video of life at Annapolis with the chow calls from
Yeah.
the plebes.
Yeah,
Intense.
it sucks.
Intense way to hear
but
the menu.
It's being on a sports team gets you out of some of that stuff.
Oh, really?
So that helped a lot. I did chow calls, but not as much as all the other kids that had to do chow calls.
Did you like the Naval Academy?
You know what's funny? I didn't like it at the time, but you make your closest friends there because I think when you're doing like shitty things
Yes.
together, that just builds that camaraderie, and you
Yeah.
can all relate on like, man, this week sucks, but we're in it together. So the friendships you build at the Naval Academy, I'm entirely thankful for. But there are a ton of strict rules that like, man, this place sucks sometimes, and
Right.
academically, it's difficult too.
Yeah. It's one of the best schools in the country,
Yeah, it's a
right?
great school.
It's an engineering school, and I mean, I wasn't great in math, so.
And then so after that, so if you come out of the Naval Academy, you come out as like a second lieutenant or something like that?
That's in the. You can go to the Marine Corps, and if you go to
Right.
the Marine Corps, you're second lieutenant, and if you go into the Navy, then you're an ensign, which is the first level of officer rankings.
Oh, okay. And then so which route did you go?
I went Navy.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
And then, so did you serve in the Navy?
I did, yeah, only for a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you tried to become a Navy SEAL, right?
So that's where I met our mutual friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went to Buds, and it didn't work out for me. I didn't quit. I kept having like this problem with my lungs, where I would go into first phase, which is where you do all like the stuff people see, the lifting the logs and running with the boats and the laying in the cold water. And I'd go to Hell Week and do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I'd always get sick. I'd start coughing up blood. And that happened 4 times. It just kept happening. And finally they sent
4
me.
times in the same Bud cycle?
No, so I would go and I would do a Buds class, and then I would cough up blood in Hell Week and then get sent back and kind of hang out for like 3 months, and they'd be okay, go to another one and go to the next one, and same thing, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday of Hell Week, cough up blood, go back 3 months, come to the next one, and I did that 4 times.
Wow.
Why were you coughing up blood? Did they ever find out?
They did, and I went to a lung specialist, and I guess he's just kind of said, well, you have thin lung tissue, and when your body gets cold, it blood or something leaks in there, and you just cough it up, and my oxygen level goes down, which I guess can get unsafe. So then I got disqualified from scuba diving because of that, and got out of the Navy.
Oh, man. Was
Yeah.
that really hard on you?
You know, it's funny because I was talking with our buddy recently, and we talked about that, and it was hard for a day. I'd say it was really hard, especially because all my roommates were still in training. And
All your buddies were doing it?
Exactly, yeah. And then I was like, well, I can't just dwell on this because it's going to make no positive in my life if I'm just like constantly upset about it. So that's kind of when I switched to ultra running, was right then.
Right.
I was upset, but then I'd like, okay, I got to close that book and open a new one because there's nothing I can go do about it now.
Right.
So
And your lungs are good for the ultra running.
that's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to start ultra running, because I wanted to see if I would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully, I've been fine. And on the swim, I was the most nervous, that ultra swim I did, because every time my lungs would bleed, it would be we'd be just getting out of the water. And so I was nervous, and I didn't really tell anyone. Like, I didn't tell anyone else in the group just because I didn't want them to worry, and I didn't want them to be like, well, actually, you know what? You can't do this swim. So thankfully I was fine. The water was warm though, which was nice. That might have helped a little bit, but I did that swim, and there was that was one of the things I thought about the whole time, is like, wait, how am I breathing right now? How am I breathing? How do my lungs feel? And thankfully nothing happened.
Could you feel it in your lungs when you'd get it at Buds?
Yeah, because I'd go to take like a deep breath, and I just couldn't. It was a very short breath. Like you try to breathe in deep, and it would just stop you, because that's all in your
That must have
lungs.
scared the fuck out of you, right?
It didn't, because I wanted that goal so bad that I didn't care.
So you were more frustrated. You're like, damn, why is this happening to me?
Exactly, yeah. Because it happened 4 times during Buds, and it actually happened at the Naval Academy once. And then our tryout to go to Buds, it happened there too.
So was it just the cold temperatures?
That's kind of what I think it
Gotcha.
So, which I guess, it did suck, but I tried to move on quick because I just realized there's going to be no dwelling on this.
Right.
Because you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like the decision's final, like you're done.
And you're still dedicated in some respects to
so
people who are serving, right?
Correct. Yeah. So a lot of my buddies are still in the military. And then I did the Seals for Sunshine, and then I'm doing a race in Alaska, the Iditarod Trail Invitational. That's 350-mile run on the Iditarod Trail, and we're doing it for me and some buddies are doing it for the SEAL Future Foundation, which helps transition Navy SEALs into life after the military.
Right.
And it's not that they need help, but it's just like,
well, everyone does.
Yeah. So,
yeah, and no one deserves it more than them. So yeah, I think it's.
So it's it's just like a little assistance, like kind of we got all these ways to help you, so let us help.
Yeah, it's got to be so hard coming from such a important and single-minded pursuit, and then to not have it anymore.
Yeah, and then to go from this like high octane military life to a civilian life where it's not really like that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And no one's in the military, so you can't just boss people around and tell people what to do. And it also helps with guys' health. They maybe can help things that maybe the VA won't help with, or just like it's just a nice
specialized.
Yeah. So we're raising money for that, and we start that March 1st. We start the run March 1st, and we're hoping to finish in 5 days.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah.
How long do the 240-mile run? How long does that take?
It took me 107 hours.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So ready, set, go.
Wait, it took you 5 days?
Yeah, something like that.
Or
How often?
4 days and 3/4 or something?
How often did you eat?
I ate all the time on that. I have a little backpack, and I would just pull out Power Bar, or Snickers, or
Cliff
PB&J, Cliff Bar. Yeah.
What's your flavor?
White chip macadamia.
Oh, dude, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That sounds good.
It's a good one. They freeze though sometimes. That's the one.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
My jaw would get tired.
If you take them like skiing, I just know that from like skiing.
Yeah.
Like God damn it.
I can't chew this.
Yeah.
So when is that race?
March 1st.
Nice.
Yeah.
And is this the longest one you've done?
It'll be the longest one I've done. It's more, the weather's going to be terrible. It's going to be really cold. I think we last heard that the finish line was negative 37 degrees. That's what, so it's going to be.
That's freezing.
It's way freezing. It's been as low as negative 50.
So do you just like run in a parka, or like what's your outfit?
We'll be layering up nicely.
That's going to be even more tiring to run in. What kind of shoes do you wear?
We're still debating that. We like
boots.
Yeah, boots. Arc'teryx makes some good boots. Solomon makes some good boots for this. And you can have these things.
I know a boot guy.
Do you really?
I mean, I don't know if they're good for what you're doing, but I know a boot guy.
I'll have to get his number from you.
I'd like to help. Yeah, for sure, dude.
And then you can put over boots on if it gets really cold, which, I mean, because if you get frostbite, you can lose your toes. And
Yeah.
things like that. So
if you get frostbite, you're gonna stop, right?
I mean, the plan is to finish.
You keep running.
You keep running.
Keep the blood flowing.
It'll warm the toes back up.
I think so.
Yeah, but we'll have a sled attached to us. So the Iditarod's the famous dog race that people know about.
Yeah, I didn't want to sound dumb, but I was like, you're going to be racing against
So the dogs start a week after us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we might see them. I mean, if we're slow, because hopefully we can finish in 5 days.
Yeah.
If we're still out there, they'll probably come zooming by us. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And you say you party pretty hard around the races, right?
Yeah, which is, I've never really altered my lifestyle to do these runs. And that's kind of why I try to tell everyone, like, people are like, oh, I can't do that. I'm like, yeah, you can, man. You just put your mind to it. And I've never really altered my lifestyle partying. Like, for example, that first 200-mile race I did, so I did another 200-mile race 3 weeks after. And in that 3 weeks I should have been resting, but I went to Mexico because I had some buddies going on deployment, and we just partied for 5 days. And instead of resting, I partied. And then I paid the price for that next 200-mile race.
Right.
Because it sucked and I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
And, and then for my, that first 50-miler I ever did, the one where I forgot my watch and my headphones, I was staying at a girl's house, and we went out that night before, and I was up till midnight drinking beers, and I had to leave at 4 a.m. And I woke up at 4 a.m. I kind of like, wait, why is my alarm going off? And then I'm like, oh shit, I got this run to do. And so I partied before that one. I had a 50K where I've always kind of done stupid things before these races.
Yeah.
Only because I want to still have fun. I mean, these races aren't always fun, so I'll, have fun the night before sometimes. Or I've like one of the races, they had alcohol at one of the aid stations, and no one was really having a beer. I was like, I'll have a beer because like
it's good too. It's calorie intake,
and it's a nice day out.
Beers during regular marathons, right?
Yeah. So that was that, and then.
Do you ever just do a regular marathon, just as like a morning little jog?
No, I've never actually done a regular marathon. I've ran 26 miles as like a workout, but I've never signed up for a marathon.
Yeah. Do you consciously making it it's not like you get swept up in the party. You just consciously like, I need to have fun. Like,
if my buddies call me and they're like, hey, we're going out, but I have a race tomorrow, I'll go out. Yeah. But I'll try to be okay. Get home at midnight, or don't drink as much. Drink some water.
Are you able to wake up? Like, do you get? I sort of get lost in the hangover. Like, do you get lost? Are you able to just get up right away and just work through it?
I used to be able to, but any of my friends who listen to this know now that I cannot deal with hangovers anymore.
Yeah, so now
they're the worst. They're debilitating. 2 days debilitating. Yeah. I can't do anything.
I had like 4 shots on Saturday. I'm still suffering.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I feel like I'm at like 60%.
Yeah, right. You're not operating at full level. And this was up until like I could do that, but like up until all since 6 months ago, I can't do it anymore. Yeah, it's so hard.
It gets me mentally. I just get. It makes me depressed. Yeah, much. But maybe if I had something like an ultra marathon to like just work my way out. Yeah, that's something I should do.
About your day yesterday.
Oh, yesterday I was super hungover. So I went to, there's the golf tournament down in San Diego, the Farmers Insurance Open.
Sure, is that at Torrey Pines?
It's at Torrey Pines, yeah. And I got so hammered on Saturday.
Yeah.
I don't remember the Uber ride home. I woke up in my room. There was like just taquitos everywhere.
Yeah.
And then one of my buddies. Yeah, one of our buddies comes in, and he's like, "You want to run 10 miles?" And I was like, I did not want to run 10 miles, but I didn't want to let him down. So I was like, "Okay, I'll go run with you." And we go to breakfast first, like a quick, just get coffee and a little acai bowl for breakfast. I couldn't take any bites of the acai bowl. I could barely drink the coffee. And then I was like, I'm just going to go home. And my buddy's like, dude, you cannot go home. Like, I'm not letting you go home. So we did this run, and it was terrible. I was like hoping I'd get hit, like, just like, or like roll an ankle, or like a car would just clip me. And like something that would let me just go home. But,
what happened here to your thumb?
Oh, I did a ruck run the other day. So I was running with weight on my back. And nice. the weight was, it was a really crappy ruck. So I had to just hold. It was like 45 pounds. I had to hold it the whole time.
Oh,
so
man.
it just cut my hands up.
How do you deal with injuries? Do you get injured often?
I've been thankful that I haven't really gotten injured.
You stretch a lot?
No, I don't. And I don't really roll out.
Dude, I think you're just a specimen. I think you're different.
I don't sweat much neither, I think. And
oh, really?
Because I've even thought, like, how am I doing this? Because I've, thankfully, knock on wood, never been not hurt. Yeah. Besides the lung thing. But, like, physically, like, my body's is held
intact.
Up very nicely.
Nice, dude.
That's awesome.
And I also equated to, I lift weights, where I don't know if a lot of other runners lift weights. And maybe
that strength.
You're kind of jacked.
Thanks, man.
Very
looking good.
Yeah,
you said you're gonna do MMA now.
I'd like to transition into MMA.
What's gonna be are you gonna go into like straight MMA training? Are you gonna try and do like jiu-jitsu first or Muay Thai, or what are you thinking?
I'd like to go straight into MMA.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of wrestling background.
You got the wrestling background.
Yeah, and even like it was college wrestling, even though it was Division I, I got killed a lot. But at least I think I have a strong base in wrestling. But the reason I want to switch to that is because during the runs, like if you get tired, I could sit down. I could take a nap if I wanted. And I want something that's
fights. They don't let you do that.
I mean, you can't just, if you sit down and take a nap, the dude's just gonna. Yeah. So I like the idea of pushing out of my comfort zone, and I think these races I've gotten comfortable doing. So I need to.
That was something you mentioned on the phone. It's very close to Chad's philosophy that being in discomfort is.
It's a good thing.
Is necessary for change.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like even like for you guys doing comedy, if you're like going up on a Tuesday night all the time and maybe there's no one there, like I'm gonna step up. I'm gonna go on a Friday night because I'm comfortable with this Tuesday night now. Maybe Friday and Saturdays, like there's more people, more nerves, and
well, that's the best when you put yourself out there, and you know, it's when in those situations where it's like big risk, big reward. Yeah. Especially like stand up or something, it's the best feeling.
Is that nerve-wracking?
Addicted to it.
No, stand up's become my comfort. Or
really?
Stand up or whatever it is we're doing has become my comfort zone. Going out to a bar on a Saturday night has become my discomfort zone.
Really?
Yeah.
There's something weird about that.
Yeah.
Like, just being social normally. I'm like, why is this so terrible?
Yeah, I'm like, this is really fucking hard. yeah.
Do people expect something from you guys? Like, do they expect that you're funny or?
No,
it's not too bad that way.
I think if we were to think that, if I was to think that, I think it would be in my head.
Yeah.
I think,
people are really nice.
People are super nice, and I think they just want you to be nice in return.
Yeah, they're always stoked, and like, I love it. Like, I'll just
It's
be like,
awesome,
I was, walking at like the Grove the other day, and some guys go, "Oh," threw me one of these.
Yeah.
And I'm like, made my day.
Yeah.
I threw him one back. Yeah,
It's really nice. Yeah.
it's nice.
But the first time you guys did it, was it like
Oh, the
crazy
worst. I used to
uncomfortable? 'Cause
vomit.
I remember
and stuff.
because my buddy and I, we went and saw you guys out in
Long Beach.
In Long Beach, yeah.
Right. Oh, right.
I was nervous that night. That was
Okay.
scary. Yeah,
It's
because it was performing for the armed services and stuff.
Yeah.
You want to do a
Yeah.
good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely got nervous too, but and I still get nervous, but it's more of like I actually feel more comfortable on stage.
really.
Yeah. So it's like tons of nerves right before, and then once you step on stage, it's like a switch goes off, and you're like, oh, I feel nice.
Yeah, I was almost trying to sound too cool. I still get, if it's a big
Yeah.
thing, I get really nervous
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
But I just mean like if it's like a routine night where I'm just going up, it feels like practice.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if it's like a big show or I'm like, or we're doing like, I don't know, like when we did like Ellen.
Yeah.
I get freaking hyped up and.
How about the
my
city
whole
council
body's
thing?
like-
The first time, were you guys like, oh, I wonder how this is gonna
A lot of nerves too, especially because like the first time, you're like cops are there. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what if I like get in trouble for I don't know. I knew I had freedom of speech, so I could speak my truth, but I was like, I just got nervous. I was like, you just go the worst case scenario.
Yeah, I was nervous, but I just kept reading the Bill of Rights, and I was like, all right, I'm solid.
That fired you up.
You just gotta
And
read
then
the
I was
Constitution.
Like,
Yeah.
like, if anyone gets pissed, I can just throw this.
Yeah,
up.
check this out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, what up, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one of us is abiding by these principles?
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
That's
Are you a
awesome.
big comedy fan?
I am, yeah.
Nice.
I watch a lot of just YouTube. I'll click anyone. And then going to comedy shows. Like your guys' show was great. That was so
thank you.
funny.
Yeah, that was
Oh, thanks,
fun.
man.
Man, there was. I'm trying to think of one of the guys' name on there. I thought was hilarious. I mean, everyone was
Ari
great.
Manis,
Yep, yeah.
Yeah,
and
he's a
then
funny dude.
man, there was one other guy too.
Santino.
Yep, yeah, Andrew Santino.
Yeah.
he was funny.
Yeah, he's a beast.
We had Strider up there.
Yeah.
Strider was
he
up
was
there.
there.
Annie Letterman,
Oh yeah.
and then I forget the other lady's name. Jackie Fabulous.
Right.
Yeah,
She's funny.
She's really funny. Yeah, my mom loves her.
Yeah, she was the one that was
Yeah.
on. Was it America's Got
Yeah,
Talent?
AGT.
I
yeah.
love Jackie Fabulous.
Yeah, my mom was like,
Did she get to meet her? Because
no,
because I remember we were all talking, and then she's like, I need to meet her, and then
Yeah.
someone's like, I think she left, and then we had left after that.
She
So.
missed her window.
Man, it's too bad.
She'll meet her.
Yeah.
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 Life is long. Not always. Yeah, this
Yeah.
Kobe thing.
Yeah.
man.
That hit me hard. That was
Yeah,
one.
he's my legend of the week. Yeah.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's everyone's legend of the week, but dude, that crushed me.
Yeah.
Driving up here from San Diego, and every billboard,
everywhere?
It is sad. It's
Yeah.
incredibly sad.
Yeah. I mean, he was so larger than life, and I think with athletes, you just don't think that they can get hurt.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
life is fragile.
And
Yeah.
he was so young. I mean, he lived such a large life. And,
Yeah.
and he was only 41.
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it was a tragic day yesterday.
Yeah, that was a tough one. Still tough.
Yeah, especially and then being here in LA, we were at the mall and you're seeing there was like 20 dudes walking in Kobe jerseys, and it's like, I feel that's gonna be going on for a while, especially
think
here
so
in LA,
too.
which is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
People are saying this is like the worst sports death like ever.
I really
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to think
In
of
our
others.
generation.
Yeah, Magic
Yeah.
Johnson, when he was HIV positive, people thought he was going to die. And then I think Roberto Clemente,
Yeah.
died.
Yeah, in a plane crash.
Yeah,
right?
flying to go help people, which
Yeah.
is terribly sad.
Right.
Yeah.
Being from Arizona, we have
And
Pat
biased.
Tillman. So
Yeah.
the football player that played in the Arizona State, then the Cardinals, and then joined the Army Rangers and died in Afghanistan.
Hero of mine.
Yeah.
I talk about him often.
Yeah, he was the reason I wanted to join the military.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Did you see that documentary about him, the Tillman story?
Yeah, the Tillman story. Yeah,
It's phenomenal.
It is.
Yeah.
It's great, and he was just a stand-up dude. Like,
so complicated, so interesting.
yeah. Like read a ton and
Smart guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
graduated early, started on his MBA or his like a master's in history, and
Yeah.
very complicated guy. It
Very
seems.
ethical
Yeah.
warrior.
Yeah.
And then his family was so tough and dogged. Yeah.
Yeah. Every year in Arizona and Tempe, they do the Tillman Run, and that's huge. It's 30,000 people every year to do this run, and it's 4.2 miles, and it's a cool time. I went this year with some buddies. It's awesome.
Yeah, and he just looks the part too.
He does. He's the best jawline.
Yeah. So jacked. He's got the long hair.
Yeah. What a stud.
I talked about it before, but his brother too, at his funeral, all the politicians go up there.
Yeah.
And they're making kind of flowery statements about how Pat's in a better place, which is nice, but they didn't really know him.
Yeah.
And his brother just like couldn't handle it. Went up there, chugs a beer.
Yeah.
He's like, Pat would have loved that.
Yeah.
He goes, all you people are saying Pat's in heaven. He didn't believe in that fucking shit.
Yeah, he's like, he was an atheist. He's fucking dead.
Yeah, he's an atheist. He's fucking dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then hops off.
Yeah.
Yeah, really just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the proceedings. Yeah. Yeah, he's amazing. All right, you guys want to answer some questions?
Let's do it.
All right. First up,
can we mention that? Maybe we'll cut this out. But JT taught
the guy
the
who's
unseen
here,
guy.
the unseen guy here, who's a buddy. I taught him. Did I teach you? Is that too much credit? Was that the first time you had masturbated and watched porn?
It was my first porn experience.
Yeah, right. So we
tutelage wasn't like.
Yeah, it wasn't hands-on. I'm making it sound grosser than it was. Yeah, it was more. I was just like, hey man, we're gonna be watching this for a couple hours. If you want in, find a corner. But
I would have been. I would have been so honored to be at that age to have JT's tutelage.
It was a good time. And then, but I worried for years that I had, because we lost touch for a bit. I was like, I fucking might have scarred this dude. And then we talked, and he's an amazing guy. He's doing great.
I think I think we talked about it at the.
Yeah, both times within the first couple minutes of meeting, we've gone straight to jacking off. So it's been real.
Sorry, man.
I was really scared that first time, but like you were fearless.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. He's saying he was scared I was fearless. I appreciate that. Yeah. I've always been courageous in that department. Yeah. No fear.
The guru of cranking it.
Yeah. And now I'm retired. I'm not even really in the cranking game anymore. Yeah. And you say you're not really in the cranking game.
No, not really. Keith and I were kind of debating the merits of cranking versus not cranking, and I'm testing out the other camp. You know, I'm just like seeing if it's good over here.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Yeah. Honored. That's good. We talked about it. Should we do a mid-roll?
Oh yeah. So speaking of genitals. Guys, we are brought to you by Manscaped. Manscaped, thank you so much for keeping our trims pubed, for looking after our hogs, for making sure that our dongles are looking fresh as fuck. Because when you jack off, you want to know that your pubes are up to snuff and you're not disrespecting your hand.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like, I'm not being sexy for other people, I'm being sexy for myself.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, self-love is the most important thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we cover this often on the pod.
I dated a girl who said she used to light candles when she masturbated. I was like, wow, we're different.
Yeah. Yeah, but you care for yourself in a different way.
No, I've actually evolved more in that direction, and now I think that's actually lovely.
Yeah, but I'm saying there's different styles that, yours is more like aggressive.
For sure.
Sorry, stokers.
Yeah.
But anyways, if you want to, practice more self-love, get the lawnmower 3.0, maybe apply some ball deodorant, get some of those wipes, get some Lycra shorts to secure everything in place and show the world that you mean business with freshly trimmed pubes. So Manscaped, use code GOD20 at manscaped.com and, trim them nice, guys. Trim them nice.
And as always, we're brought to you by Danny Babona at UCI Baseball. If you're a young buckaroo who can throw or swing the bat, the place you need to go is UCI. They should call it UC Newport Beach because it's right there. Let's go, Anteaters. He just played in the alumni game. He struck out the side. All right, first question. What up, Chad, JT, Joe, Strider, and Aaron? Aaron, what up, dog?
What up?
Nice. Long-time listener, first-time writing in. I wanted to commend all of you for being positive influences on myself and many younger guys like me. The biggest thing I've gotten out of listening to you guys is that loving and showing love for your dogs, family, GF, and others is so fucking tight. I've actively become a better friend, brother, and son because of it. It's becoming a natural feeling of gratitude, love, and happiness. That's very nice, man. Thank you. I have you guys to thank for opening me up to it because I used to think it was soft and corny as a naive, immature college kid. Following that, I'd like to ask what gets you guys out of bed every day and fires you up. Has it changed as you have gotten older? For me, it used to be becoming better each day, but now it's evolved to becoming better with loved ones, and it seems more significant now. P.S. I've been using Let's Throw Out the Instructions religiously.
Nice. Congrats.
So what gets you fired up to get out of bed, Keith?
You know, right now it's this race, the Iditarod. I'm raising money for, you know, some of my buddies have benefited from the Seal Future Foundation. So I want to finish this race and raise a ton of money for them. So every day I got to train and I got to try to push our link out to people and raise money because I've seen how it helps my buddies. So, you know, I wake up every day and think about that. And, you know, I got to get up because I don't want to let them down or let anyone down because I've committed to this race. And once I make this commitment, I got to finish. So that gets me up. Fires me right up.
That's awesome. For me, I think that's that sparks a lot for me because like I think about like as I've gotten older, the things I'm like mad at or upset at are like much more real and important. Like when I was younger, it was about like a girl who didn't like me or like it was like a friend who I thought was like luckier than I was or something. It was kind of rooted in silly envy. But now it's like the stuff I'm mad at is like cancer or something like that.
Yeah.
And so it's like if I can. But so how do you fight that? You know what I mean? What can you do? You can just be mad at it. Or if you dedicate your life to try to help people who have it or to try to make it so less people get it, however you can do that, whatever your skill set is, maybe that'll give your life the purpose that'll make it feel like it was worthwhile.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Because, you know, just go at the thing.
Yeah, sort of related to what you're saying. There's nothing I love more than having a productive day. So if I go to bed and know the night before that the next day I'm going to like, there's a ton of things that I'm going to do. Maybe I'll wake up and work out or wake up and go surfing and then like do writing or something and then watch like a cool movie. Just stuff where I know that it's going to be like a productive day for me. That always fires me up. So, you know, what else? The Lawnmower 3.0.
That fires me up too. I'm excited to try that out. Like not being lazy, I guess that's cool.
Yeah.
There's that one quote from Kobe Bryant that's like, he says, I can't relate to lazy people.
Right.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah, there's a good Nietzsche quote too where he says, he who has a why to live can bear almost any how.
Yeah.
Let's go. He was on blow when he wrote that though. Just all fired up.
No,
let's go. What up, Chad and
philosophy.
JT? Let's write more. I like to write. What up, Chad and JT and maybe Strider? Can you keep this anonymous for me, please? So basically, I've been struggling recently because one of my best friends is a girl, and I've always thought she was super pretty, but we were just friends. So on New Year's, we ended up hooking up and going back to my place together. Ever since then, I felt different with her. We've always joked about us dating because most of our friends always say we should, but every time it comes up, she always says I'm just her best friend, and she doesn't want to date. I think I might have feelings for her more than that, though. But if I tell her how I feel, I know that she doesn't feel the same way, so it'd make the friendship weird. I really don't want to lose my best friend, but I also wish I could tell her how I feel towards her. Thanks, my dogs. The pod will never fail to boost my stoke.
My dog, I would say, you know, I think on this pod, you know the answer you're going to hear, and we're going to tell you to go for it. Maybe sit in the feelings, make sure they're valid, you know, make sure they're not just like a sort of a flame inside your dome, you know, make sure it's like a deep, burning, eternal torch inside your heart. And if you know that to be true, then I'd, you know, pull the trigger and say what up in a romantic way.
That's definitely some good insight. You know, go with like push out of your comfort zone, man. And maybe that's not it's uncomfortable for him to approach this subject, but maybe that's the advice I like to give everyone. Just push out of your comfort zone. So maybe go for it. Or definitely go for it, man. Get uncomfortable and see what happens.
Yeah, dude, I think having a balance of romance and realism where you go into it being like, oh, this could be the one, but then there's also another part of you that's like, it's probably not, but I won't find out until I take a swing. And the important thing is that I try.
Yeah.
And then if you can kind of juggle those two truths, because they're both true, I think you'll find yourself at a place sooner where you do find that person that's right for you. And it could be this person. Yeah. But who knows? You don't know until you try.
For sure. And I think going on the idea of stepping into discomfort, I think if you step into that discomfort and you give it your shot, no matter what the outcome, I think he'll be happy.
Yeah, because at least you know the answer. It's either yes or no, and
he'll be proud of himself for taking a chance and putting himself out there.
I got turned down for a girl's phone number on Friday. Yeah, she came up to me. She's like, "Hey, I've seen you before. You're really funny." I was like, "Oh, cool, it's on." And I just went through a breakup, so I've been kind of lonely.
Yeah.
And then we were laughing together, and then other people came in and intercepted our convo, and there was too much. I couldn't talk to her because there was like 3 people in between us.
Right.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh man!" But then before she went and got into her Uber, I ran up and I was like, "Yo, hey, could I get your phone number?" She said, "I've had a boyfriend for 3.5 years." And I was like, later.
That's not a huge rejection, though.
No,
she had a boyfriend.
It didn't hurt at all. I was fine. I
Yeah.
was like, you know what? You win some, you lose some. Yeah. And then I realized actually it was too soon for me to get back into dating ever anyways, and I felt kind of lonely. So I was like, I'm just going to press pause. But that's a different
thing. Get some ice cream.
Yeah, right?
That's nice. That sounds nice.
Do you eat ice cream?
I do eat ice cream. I try not
What's
too
your
much.
favorite flavor?
Like anything with coconut in it.
Dude,
nice.
Whatever's got coconut in it, I'll eat it.
That's
you
fine.
know, I don't hear that often.
Really?
Yeah. I'm sure it's true for a lot of people,
good.
but coconut, especially, it's especially on cookies, it's so good. But ice cream too. I mean, it's fire.
You know where you see the coconut ice cream a little more often is when it's on a stick.
Oh,
they do that a little bit.
My dog.
Yeah. That's good stuff. Like gas station ice cream?
Yeah, like you
slide that thing open.
Oh, it's the best.
It's the greatest.
I get the Choco Taco.
Those are good.
You know, I like those little swirly cups that come like red or black with the vanilla in there, and they give you a little wooden spoon for it. Yeah.
Do Klondike bars?
Dude, very nice.
Do they come in Neapolitan? I've always kind of. I
don't think so.
I don't think so.
They should.
They should.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Ice cream sandwich.
Reach out to them. Yeah.
I'm like, what would I do for a Neapolitan? A lot.
Yeah.
More than I do for the other thing.
You could race for a Neapolitan Klondike.
I'll do that. Yeah.
Be like, I'm doing this for charity and Klondike.
And that makes sense at the Iditarod too.
Right?
Yeah.
How do you say it?
Iditarod. That's
Nice.
right. Yeah.
I drilled it. What's up, legends? My name is Thompson. Yeah, that is my first name. I have a quick question for the bros. I have recently accepted a teaching position at a high school. I was wondering how I should come in as far as setting the tone with my students and how I should run my classroom. Something to note is I am currently serving the Army National Guard. Do I use that to my advantage and give off a little intimidation factor and show that I don't take any shit? Or because I'm only 22 and a diehard stoker, does that mean I come in and absolutely bring the juice, good vibes, and spread stoke and risk being a pushover? Any advice you guys could give when it comes to being cool but respected teacher would be greatly appreciated. P.S. Shout out to my brother Camden for being a total legend, and thank you, bros, for being so open with your lives. It's truly an inspiration. The positive vibes you guys give off are contagious. Thanks again, and fuck Puzio. Your pal Thompson. That's nice. Puzio's a dude I fought.
I heard that one. I like that story.
Yeah,
it's a good story.
Yeah. I just friended him on Facebook.
Did you?
Actually, yeah.
Were you nervous? Did he accept?
He accepted it.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think you're gonna fight him again?
I don't think so. I mean, he does have like some, like most of his photos on Facebook are like him shooting guns and stuff.
Okay.
That got me a little fired up. Like, who do you think you are, bro?
Yeah.
You know? But then at the same time, like, live and let live. You know what I mean? I think when we meet, it'll be all love. But I bet you if we hung out for a couple days,
The tension would
the
rise
tension
again.
would simmer. Yeah, and at some point it might be on, but not to the death. Just to like
choke out again. He'd
just
choke
to
him
see
out.
just to see who'd wind up on top.
Does he look the same?
He looks pretty good, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got long hair. Looks like he's still in shape. Yeah.
Is he still in OC?
No.
Where's he at?
No, he left my turf. No, I don't know. I think he's in Arizona.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's close. Yeah.
Keith, you might.
I was saying maybe I can go down there if you want to take care of him for you.
No, don't do
Yeah.
that. Don't do that. That's a very nice offer, though. Thank you. No, I got to do this on my own. Yeah.
You could invite him to the MMA gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that. What
Like,
gym
hey,
are you
dude, you
gonna go
want to
to?
spar?
I don't know yet. I'm trying to look at a couple different options. We'll see.
Yeah. So what should this guy do about teaching? Should he come in hot or should he try and be the cool guy?
I think why not a combination of both?
Yeah.
Be the cool guy, but be firm when you have to be. Because I think if you go too far in either direction, you don't want to go in the extremes. You kind of want to go in the, the middle. I mean, you want to teach these kids and you want to set a good example for them. But I think you also want them to like you, sort of like Robin Williams and Dead Poet Society, so they're inspired by you and they want to learn something, but also that they can't just like cheat on their test and get away with it. That's what I think.
Yeah, I have kind of like a pessimistic outlook on it because I taught when I was 18. I tried to teach kids in Costa Rica and it went bad. I ended up throwing a dodgeball off a 14-year-old's face at close range. And the principal was just staring at me like, dude, what's going on? And I was like, oh, I've totally lost my cool. And it was hard for me to get the kids to stop punching me sometimes.
Yeah.
But then I also remember like when I had young teachers, their first year, we always took them for a ride. Like, they were just too close to us in age. They didn't have like the subtle sense of authority that other teachers had, and we would just do whatever we wanted. But I think you learn, you know what I mean? And I don't know what the right way for you to control the classroom is, but I know you'll figure it out over time. Just stick with it, and don't let those little shits make you cry.
Definitely. I couldn't imagine being 22 and a teacher.
It's tough.
Like, for high school kids, like dude, I was just here 4 years ago.
Well, yeah, because you're 22,
Yeah.
you're still partying.
Yeah.
Like, I had a PE teacher when I was in 8th grade who would like try and discipline me, and I could just tell he was like probably dumber than I was.
Yeah.
And then I met his rugby coach. He's like, "Oh yeah, that guy's an animal. He's out of control. We had to kick him off the team." I'm like, "Yeah." He's trying to discipline me. Get the hell out of here.
Dude, when you threw the ball at that kid,
Yeah.
the guy looked at you like, JT, what the fuck?
I went whack, and then I was like, and then I turned, and the principal was just like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I put my head down.
What'd the kid do?
The kid was like, "Oh!" You know those hard rubber balls?
Oh, it was like, it was the real dodgeball.
Yeah. It was like a real dodgeball. Well, he was like being a maniac, but not that it justifies what I did. But I just remember I ran up, took like a full like
Crow hop into it.
crow hop, and just whack. And then instantly, I don't know if I instantly regretted it, but I instantly was like, there was a moment of just awareness where I was like, "What the fuck are you doing? You've been hired to teach these kids English."
He just beamed
And
one
he
in the
literally
face.
just beamed one in the face. Yeah. He's a big 14-year-old, but doesn't justify it. Nah, dude, you got it. Just come in, be cool. If one of the kids acts up, be like, point to the other. Corey taught us this one.
Yeah.
Corey said when he was a substitute teacher, if one of the kids acted up, he'd turn to the other kids and go, "Does he always act like this?" And the kids would be like, "Yeah." And then the kid would be all embarrassed.
That's a good tactic.
Yeah.
That's nice.
All right, this is a long one, but it has a good title. Teacher had not jacked off. Pointing-
This is our wheelhouse.
Pointing to my old friend. He just gave me a knowing smile. What up, Chad, JT Strider, my boy Aaron, and ideally a dank guest such as Margot Robbie or Val Kilmer? Dude,
Those are good guests,
That's you, dog.
Yeah, nice.
I come to you in the face of a dire situation. I was recently listening to your most current episode as of today, episode 112, while on my way to school. For reference, I'm a high school senior in Minnesota, so your pod is the only thing fire enough to keep me warm inside my beater Toyota minivan with a busted AC. Anyways, I was getting absolutely jacked listening to your conversation on the importance of jacking off to avoid being too aggro, since I had just milked the Magnolia and was feeling great. Unfortunately, the second I stepped into my first hour class, I could tell that my teacher was not feeling my positive energy. I wasn't going to let that get me down, though, so I took my seat and kept a big cheesy grin painted on my face while my teacher angrily passed out the final our class had taken the week before. Mine slid across my desk with a nice, juicy B-, right in the sweet spot. Naturally, I was juiced with this success, and my stoke continued to climb. So our class was going through the test, and eventually I came across a question I had gotten wrong. Without trying to get too greedy, I raised my hand and respectively asked why I had missed points on the problem, to which my teacher replied, "Maybe you missed points because your answer was wrong." Not gonna lie, this was a burn on par with Ellen telling Chad that he wasn't that tan.
It hurts, dude.
Dude, she scorched you, bro. Thankfully, I can take a joke, and I just smiled and laughed. Apparently, my teacher didn't like my casual attitude, so it was at this point that he completely flipped a switch. He started yelling at me about my lack of work ethic and telling me that if I didn't take this class more seriously, I'd never have success in college. His emotions didn't chill from there. Eventually, it got to the point that he was screaming about how hard he worked while every one of his students just glides through life without a care in the world. It got to the point that the whole class had gone silent, and the only thing that ended up stopping his tirade was his own shortness of breath. As the whole class sat in utter amazement of the outburst we just witnessed, I could feel the overall stoke of the room drop faster than JT when he takes a ring punch from that bitch Puzio. Fuck Puzio. I knew someone needed to be done, so I conjured up all the stoke Chad, JT, and Strider had put in me that morning and said, "Mr. B, you need to jack off." To my surprise, this completely honest and well-intentioned statement was met with laughter from the class and a look of disgust on my teacher's face that reminded me of Joe drinking a blue drink. I was immediately sent to the principal, who also needed to jack off, but we won't get into that, and given a full week of lunch detention. So I guess my question is pretty simple. Was I in the wrong in asking my aggro teacher to jack off, and if so, does the punishment fit the crime? Your boy from the Great White North, Keen. I'm conflicted, Keen, because on one hand, I do find what you did to be objectively funny, but if I say that to you, I'm worried that you're going to keep up this behavior in the future and that it's going to have more dire consequences. I would say you did something funny. It looks like you got away with it with minimum repercussions. So, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. Don't test your luck again. And maybe to be nice to the teacher, bring him whatever he likes to drink or whatever he likes to eat. Bring him that next time you see him. You don't even have to do it in front of the class. Just on the down low, go, hey, dude, I see you. And just slide him over a Neapolitan Klondike or something like that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think your heart was in the right place. You're trying to, raise the stoke, lower the tension, get this guy calm again. And, I think the world isn't ready for you. The world needs some work to do to understand what you were trying to say to them. So, you had a good run. Maybe, keep it to yourself next time, just for your sake, just for, so you don't get punished. But I do commend you on your efforts, and thank you for raising the stoke and telling this guy what he should have done in that situation.
Yeah, I definitely appreciated those guys in high school that could break the tension like that. But, a week of lunch detention isn't that bad. So, yeah, I think that's pretty lucky to get that punishment. I'm sure it could have been a lot worse. So, yeah, maybe don't test your luck anymore with that class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He cranked it for sure. I mean, the teacher's obviously going through something, and he stroked the magnolia. What was the phrase he used?
I think was it pump the magnolia or something?
Yeah.
Dude, so last week we had an OBGYN. No. We had a different sort of medical student write in and tell us about if dick size had any sort of correlation with size of the stream. And Emma was wondering how it worked with females, and this week we have an answer. My dogs, I am an OBGYN resident and couldn't help but take interest on Emma's comment regarding the power of a urine stream for females and whether Kegel exercises can boost the P-force. While dudes enjoy a thunderous roar in the toilet bowl, the most common urinary concern for women, however, is incontinence or leakage. Kegel exercises are used to strengthen the pelvic floor muscles, which helps keep urine from leaking, which is the opposite of forcing pee out. In fact, a way to teach people to do Kegels is have them act like they are trying to desperately hold in a full bladder or an impending fart. I hope this is interesting and sheds light on a very common problem for women that many don't feel comfortable talking about. Thanks for filling my stoke tank, Anonymous. All right.
So it's an issue for women. What's the issue?
I guess he was saying women can sometimes have issues with leakage.
Oh, right.
With
So they
urine
should
coming
do
out when they don't
Kegels?
want to. So if you do Kegels, you have better control.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Now we know. And being a girl seems hard.
It does,
It's
dude.
a lot tougher than being a dude.
Yeah. It seems like there's always, I don't want to generalize,
Yeah.
but
It seems tough.
there's a lot more going on.
Yeah.
Dudes have it pretty easy.
Yeah.
Are we talking about when it comes to like health of our privates?
Yeah.
Just the whole situation down
yeah,
there.
it's tougher for gals, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice having a dong.
UTIs, dude.
Oof.
Oh,
Scary.
yeah. Worst thing that happened to me was my ball swelled up, and it was kind of cool to like show to my friends.
How did that happen?
I got this thing called epididymitis.
Okay.
And I don't know where it came from. The doctor thought it came from anal.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, unfortunately not. But I just took some antibiotics and it swelled down. But it was pretty big. It was like a little tangerine.
Oh, really?
But the doctor's like, here's some antibiotics. And you need to wear a jock. I was like, all right, dude.
So did you go to like Big Five and buy a jock or something?
I did,
Really?
yeah. And it
Nice.
was actually during graduation from college. So
Uh-huh.
I was just sitting in bed with a jock on, just like, this kind of sucks. But it was a good story.
Hell
And a
yeah.
good visual gag.
Yeah, that's fun. It'd be probably fun
Yeah.
to show people.
Yeah. So look at my nut.
Were you scared?
I was scared it was testicular torsion because I had that in 5th grade. My left nut's been through the ringer.
Wow, dude.
Yeah. But my dad had it at the same age, so we bonded over that.
I've heard that hurts.
It does. It
Yeah.
hurt a lot, and that's why I was worried it was because it can kill your testicle.
Yeah.
So I went into the emergency room, and it's kind of funny when you're in the hospital just showing your dong. You feel and they're just squeezing your nut, and then you're just kind of like out in the open. This guy, and the guy's like, "You need to wear condoms, bub." So I wasn't really scared after that. Actually, so he sent me home. I forgot about this. He sent me home. The nurse sent me home. He's like, "It'll be fine." And then like a couple days later, I'm like, "It's not fine. Like it's growing." So I went back. I went to a urologist, and he's like, "Here's some antibiotics." I'm like, "Thank God." So
Yeah.
once you get antibiotics, I'm like, it
kills everything.
It's cool. Yeah, I'm like, I'm cool.
Yeah.
But the moments leading up to that, you're
You guys worried about this coronavirus?
no.
No, I feel like everyone's just gonna freak out about it.
Yeah, it's only a couple people, but they're
I think
both in
it's 5.
California.
There's
though.
one in Arizona now. I think.
Yeah.
But I feel like we have good enough medical care that I don't
Someone will
think we'd
take
die
care of
from
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Some doctor.
I read an
will
article. It was
figure
like, don't even
Yeah.
worry about the regular flu.
Yeah.
Like 8,000 people have died from the regular flu.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
I had that last week.
it out. Did you really?
Yeah.
Hey, Chad, JT Strider, Joe, and it's funny actually. He kept coming into work with the flu, and I felt bad because he's such a beast. Like he wants to get the work in, but we were all like, "Dude, you gotta go home."
And did you go home or you just?
I went home.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I would drive in, and I was like, I think I'm okay today. I don't think it's contagious. And everyone's just like staring at me. I'm like, I'm gonna go home. So.
And it was funny too because we'd call in to like get your opinion on stuff, and I'd be like, "Chad, what up?" And he'd be like, "I'd be like, how you doing?" You're like, 100%. I was like, I don't know, dude.
I hate being sick so much, especially being an athlete. Too. I bet it's like the worst.
Yeah,
It's the
okay.
worst.
Like it kills a whole week of working out.
It does, yeah.
And what can you do?
Right,
Yeah.
You can. It's like I had the flu actually over Christmas break. And
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I missed. I didn't even go out New Year's Eve. Didn't even get to party. I was so sick. I was just throwing up.
It's brutal.
Yeah, and I hadn't been sick in a while. But yeah,
Yeah.
it ruins. You can't hang out with your boys. You can't work out. Being sick's terrible.
You're a little isolated.
Yeah.
It lowers stoke for
It
sure.
definitely kills the stoke.
Yeah.
And you mentioned last week on the pod, you were like, dude, I think I'm getting sick. And I was like, no shot, because I'm just not,
Yeah.
I've never seen you really get sick besides that stomach virus in Miami.
It got me good that night.
Yeah.
I finished that Star Wars game.
Oh, you're done?
Yeah, I finished it that night. Thank God. I got so addicted to that. And then it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I think it was holding out so I could fight Darth Vader.
Nice. Is that who you fight at the end?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And then as soon as it was over, you got sick.
As soon as as soon as I felt it coming on, but as soon as the game was over, I was like, oh.
Yeah, you had to defeat evil before you could get sick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's honorable.
Yeah.
For sure.
It made me think about Jedis. Like, do they get sick? You know, and like, if they get sick, like, do they still?
Yeah,
fight?
it's funny to picture Obi-Wan Kenobi with a cold.
Yeah.
Just like, give me a tissue.
Yeah.
All right.
I got
Let's go,
fucked up.
let's go kill these droids.
Yeah.
Hey, Chad, JT Strider, Joe, and Joe's hog. Our friend Joe's got a big hog. First off, thanks for leading the charge on saving the coral and for always getting my Stoke Tank charge. My name is Chase Wellington, and I am running for President of America. My plan is to open up a 5th branch of the military called the Turtle Force and have Leonardo DiCaprio be the general of the Turtle Force. He has little cute emojis of turtles, too. The Turtle Force will go around fighting fires, cleaning up trash, and saving the coral. Other countries are going to fear how much we love our planet. I'm wondering if you guys would consider enlisting into the Turtle Force as Master Chiefs, Chad, JT Strider, Joe, and Joe's hog.
Nice.
I'm in, dude.
I love that.
Yeah, it sounds good.
What's your favorite animal, Keith?
Man, I would have to say a bear.
Nice.
Yeah. I think
Nice.
bears are cool. I heard one in the wild once. I didn't see
you
it.
haven't
I
seen
just
it?
heard it like breaking sticks. It's like
Yeah.
it sounds like a big animal.
That's
and
scary.
there's apparently bears in the area. So
Yeah.
I assume it was a bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're huge.
Yeah. Thankful I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I just started clapping for some reason.
Did you?
I don't know why.
Just for
Yeah, just like for him to know
in
that
awe of nature.
or that I was there, that there
Yeah.
was something out there that maybe
Yeah.
he would be afraid of, but
Yeah.
probably wouldn't be afraid of. That.
Oh, I thought you were applauding the bear for existing.
I was just like trying to be loud,
like
and-
scared. Yeah.
But the Turtle Force sounds cool.
That does sound cool.
I'm sure they'll have cool uniforms. Being a Master Chief is cool, so
Yeah.
it's a good rank.
Is that a real
It's a real
position?
rank, yeah.
Okay, nice.
In the Navy, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
What up, Sultans of Stoke and any other guests? I'm a longtime listener to the pod and never fails to refill my Stoke tank whenever it's low. I'm a high school senior and recently started dating a girl who I've been friends with all through high school. We have a lot in common and I really like her. The only problem is that my dogs have been telling me that I should be worried due to the fact that she hangs out with a lot of different dudes when I'm not around. I understand that she is her own person and she has a right to hang out with who she wants, but it definitely makes me uncomfortable. How should I approach this dilemma? Should I just try not to worry about it and trust her, or should I listen to my boys? Thanks for the advice and fuck Puzio. Peace from Connecticut. Thanks.
I would say trust her until she gives you reason not to trust her, because there's no point in being paranoid. I mean, that's just not going to be good for anyone.
Yeah, and I think jealousy is a very uncool trait to have.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, let her hang out with who she wants to hang out with. If there is reason to be on edge about it, then maybe you shouldn't date in the first place. But I always feel like listening to your boys is a good thing, because you might be like tunnel vision, like, oh, I really love this person, but your boys usually can see the bigger picture.
Right.
So I always kind of try to listen to my boys, but definitely I wouldn't be jealous. Like, she's got a life too. Let her do what she wants to do. But, you know, the jealousy is not a good thing to do. But I always try to listen to my boys. So
totally agree. It's hard because,
Yeah.
but like I really do. Like I try to get my friends' opinions on everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Yeah. I mean, I think if you got good people around you,
they'll steer you in the right direction.
they'll steer you in the right direction. Yeah. But sometimes dudes can overreact to some of this stuff. So I think what Chad said, like, be mindful of it. But if you trust her, I think that'll make her want to be with you more.
Yeah.
Yeah. People like being trusted.
Yeah, definitely.
Dear Chad and JT, what up, Stoke Legends? I'm going to keep it short on this one. I'm super depressed and I've been struggling with this feeling for a while. Sometimes it varies and some days are better than others, but I still feel generally shitty. Do I need to see a doctor? Any advice would be sick. Thanks, JT from New York. Whoa, weird. I'm JT.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're going through a tough time and you think seeing a therapist is the best option, go for it. I've dabbled in therapy, but I've never really gone into it heavy. But any kind of help you can get on that front, I think health is paramount. You know, we're talking about even getting sick like the flu. I mean, it's the worst. So just, I think putting your health first is epic. So if there's someone you can see about it, then reach out, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say depression's not anything to take lightly. So seek a professional.
Right.
Because they're definitely going to help you out. And yeah, I'd say seek a professional on that one because depression's not anything to take lightly at all.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for writing in. And yeah, it's always good to ask for help. So thank you for writing into us. I know you're going to be all right. Just, yeah, go seek professional help and they'll steer you in the right direction. You'll be all right. And keep writing in.
Yeah, solid name too.
Yeah. Oh, dude, thanks, man. Thanks, dude. That's really nice. What up, dudes? I'm a pretty new listener and absolutely stoked on it. I've been in a relationship for 2 years with the same girl, but while I was at boot camp, she left on an LDS mission. We're both members, where she said she wanted me to wait for her, and I agreed. But I'm leaving on my own mission for 2 years in Germany in June, and I won't see her for 3 years. She'll be home waiting for about 1.5 years for me. Recently, I've become really close with this girl I grew up with, and we're starting to develop feelings for each other. Since all of my other homies are off on missions of their own, I've been spending tons of time with this second girl. I love my GF and would never want to cheat on her or anything of the sort, but sometimes I don't trust myself because the second girl is such an absolute unit. What should I do? Tell my GF I don't want to wait anymore? Cut ties entirely with the second girl? Just continue to hang out and hope nothing happens? I'm lost and confused, but I want to make I want to make everyone the happiest possible, including myself. It's tough.
Yeah, that one's hard.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been in that situation before, man. I think, dude, honestly, I don't even want to say it. I don't know.
What are you going to say?
I was going to say maybe 1.5 years a long time.
Three years.
Yeah.
Isn't she gonna?
Oh, I won't see her for 3 years.
That's
yeah.
a long time.
That's a really long time.
A lot of things
dude.
change in 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, one time I was on a plane going to Utah, and there was a bunch of kids, Mormon kids on the plane, and they were the sweetest kids in the world. They're like, "Hey, we just got back from our mission. What should we do?" I think I told this story before. I was like, "Oh, get some in and out, whatever." And then when we landed, I got to see them see all their family for the first time in years, and it was beautiful. Like one guy saw his baby for the first time, and his wife was sobbing, and I was like, "Oh, there's power in these rituals and in choosing this life." But for me, if I'm being honest, if it was me in your situation, I think I would break up with the person and see what happens with the second person. But that's me, and I'm not in the faith, so I can't really speak with any kind of authority. And, you know, I think there's beauty in abiding by the rules of a certain belief system, but that's my sort of horny answer, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's tough to say, but also if you're spend this time waiting for someone, it could prevent you from going out and living your life, especially when you're young and sort of having the experiences that you need to have, telling people to jack off and whatnot. So, you know, I would, you know, it's tough to say, but I think I would go out and explore.
Yeah. I'm not,
No, go, Keith, go, baby.
Yeah.
I would say, being in that, like, you're not seeing someone for 3 years. There might be not much communication. Things could change.
Right.
I would I'm sure extremely polite dude. I've got a lot of friends that I've known that are LDS, and they're all awesome, polite people. So I'm sure you could find a way to politely say that maybe we shouldn't date for the next couple years, and because you're going to be doing your own thing, I'm going to be doing my own thing, and who knows, maybe they'll get back together in 4 years. But man, 3 years apart from someone to date, it's tough. It's tough.
And he said at the end of the email, he said, I just want to make everybody as happy as possible.
Yeah.
And I think that's a noble place to be coming from. But at the end of that, you have to realize you can really, if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of other people. So you might look like a bad guy to one or two people, but it's okay. They're tough. They're resilient. They'll get through it. And dude, but yeah, I hear what you're saying too about people from the LDS. I went to a wedding. All the old people looked like decrepit. Then my family friends who were Mormon, they looked pristine.
Yeah.
They looked perfect, dude. Their smiles were like electric. I was like, look, there's something to a healthy lifestyle. Yeah. Aaron, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm always of the belief that you're young, get out there, don't attach yourself to someone who can't be with you. Just, just respectfully part ways. And maybe you'll meet again, but, live your life.
Yeah, get out there. All right. Chad, what is your beef of the week?
My beef of the week is with your brother, Chris.
Oh!
Yeah, what up, Chris? What up? Chris gave me the business this weekend at JT's birthday party about loving Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And his arguments were valid. I see where he's coming from. He told me, he's like, look, he has two legends on screen, Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. They're cool. They're cool as fuck. And what does he do with them? Nothing. And when any conflict comes, Brad just smirks and he gets away with it. That's not cool. And he's like, you're watching it too much and it's unhealthy, Chad. And I took that in, and to spite you, Chris, I watched it another time.
Oh, dude.
I watched it on Sunday and I enjoyed it even more. And I'm like, you know what? I don't think you understand the power of cool. All right? JT mentioned that one time, the power of cool.
Oh, it's powerful.
And that's what I feel when I watch that movie, the power of cool. Okay? What is Brad Pitt naturally best at? Being cool. I didn't watch Kobe Bryant to go bowling. I didn't want to watch Kobe Bryant go bowling. I wanted to watch him play basketball. And I want to watch Brad Pitt be cool and have good hair. So I love you, Chris, but I had to stick it to you on the pod.
Dude. Wow. We got to call him next week for his rebuttal.
Oh, he's going to be fired. He was so fired up.
He's going to be fired up.
I couldn't stop laughing. He was just like, he's like, what are you doing? Loving this movie so much. He has two legends and he doesn't do anything with them. What are you doing? And I was like, you have a point.
Dude, we could call him now, but I think it's better if he hears the pod. We let him stew on it for a week so he can come in with both barrels next week.
Let him build up the anger.
Yeah. Keith, what's your beef of the week?
My beef of the week, man, it's hard for me to say this because I love the guy so much, is Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, wow.
Dude.
Because he's my favorite actor, favorite dude in the whole world. And I always DM that dude, like, hey, man, like, what do you think of this? Like, I jokingly, like, ask him a question about the race that my buddy and I are doing. And I figured he was in Lone Survivor. Maybe he'd say, oh, this is cool. And I'll, push it out to my network. But I see it all the time. He never sees any of my DMs. And obviously I know he's not going to read it. But my beef of the week is with Mark Wahlberg. I wish he would just one time read my DM.
Dude, rock solid beef.
Yeah.
Dude, I do a joke about Mark Wahlberg because he said if he was on one of the planes during 9/11, he goes, there would have been some blood on the floor and I would have landed the plane. Just the absurd confidence, dude, to feel that good about yourself. It's like, of course you would have, dude. You're in The Departed. Dude, my beef of the week is with my neck. I hurt my neck, and it has prevented me from being able to weightlift or do anything athletic. Things that regulate my mood, make me feel good about my body, make me feel sexy. Me feeling sexy is very important to me. When I don't feel sexy, I don't want to do stuff as much. And I just can't wait for this thing to get better. Because it's like, you saw me today at work. I tried to throw down some push-ups just to get the blood flow and help the creativity boost. And then I was stuck like this, dude. I'm just stuck. And I don't think I've ever realized that, our ability to move can go away. Yeah. You know what I mean? So really, it taught me a valuable lesson to honor and prize and love my mobility.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm stretching.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get back, but it's been hard.
Dude, not being able to move your neck is the worst.
Dude, it's the worst, dude.
Yeah.
Turn around like this. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. All stiff.
Like all square.
Yeah.
Hey, what? It's hard to ask for numbers like that too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She was very turned off by my
You're like,
stiff neck. I was
"Hey."
like, "Hey, where you going? How about I get those digits?"
You getting
"Are
an Uber?"
okay? I'm like, "I'm fine. Let me help you let me get in the car with you."
Yeah.
Like, could've been
Hey,
that.
JT, what's up?
Yeah. Tough. All right, Chad. Who is your babe of the week?
My babe of the week is the docu-series on Netflix, World War II in Color.
Nice, dude.
I was crushing that last week. It's fire. It's, my favorite episode, Battle of Midway. It's so good, and I would recommend it to anyone who hasn't seen it. It's just a great documentary, and you learn a lot about the heroism in World War II. It's pretty astounding. So,
Dude, yeah, you were ripping it up at lunch today. I was like, "This is a fire conversation."
with Strider,
Yeah.
who knows so much about it. So I was pretty amped to flex my knowledge a little bit.
Yeah, you guys were like getting into the weeds about like Midway. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is
Yeah,
a high level conversation, right?"
Yeah,
here.
he said torpedo. I'm like, I know about these torpedoes. Let me dive into that a little bit. And then he's like, and then Spitfires and the Spitfires in France. Dunkirk. They were fighting off the Luftwaffe.
Dude.
Luftwaffe. Yeah, dude. I know that. That's some knowledge I know.
And what's the name of this
The
documentary?
World War II in color.
Okay.
So they took a bunch of footage from all over the world. It's like in the intro. It's like from all over the world.
Yeah.
And we repurposed it, so now it's in color, so you can see World War II like you've never seen it before. And it's
Interesting.
cool. Yeah.
Keith, who's your babe of the week?
Babe of the week. It's funny. I just saw this Miley Cyrus video of her covering Black Dog by Led Zeppelin.
Nice.
And I wasn't the biggest Miley Cyrus fan, but
Yeah.
like her confidence and charisma singing this song that I have loved for a long time, she's been like the babe of the last like 3 weeks for me now because of that.
Nice.
I don't even listen to Miley Cyrus much, but because of this video, it's been like my Miley Cyrus plays have gone through the roof.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, she's those backyard covers
Yeah,
she does too of like Androgynous
Jolene.
by the
Yeah,
Replacements.
Androgynous, yeah.
And dude, Jolene, unbelievable. She's a
Yeah.
powerhouse singer.
Yeah.
Yeah. No joke. My babe of the week is from the show Cheer, which I referenced last week. I finished it this week. Tremendous show. Greg Whitley, you're a killer. And I should have made this person my babe of the week last week, but I went with Gabby Butler, who's a phenomenon and deserves it. But really, the heart and soul of the show is Jerry, who is just like sweet, effusive, tenacious, and just had a hard life, but channels that into positivity and just supports his teammates always. I could learn a lot from Jerry, and I did. And he's a little bit thick, but dude, the guy elevates. He gets
Yeah.
up and he's hitting the splits and he's doing toe touches.
Yeah.
He had about 240.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I love
with
Jerry.
a freaking smile on his face.
Yeah.
And then he's stunting. He's doing a flip and then he's holding him up with one hand.
Yeah. He's my favorite one.
They build up for a 2.5 minute session at Daytona. If they fuck that up, it's all over. I mean, we were talking about precision athletics. This ain't a best of 7 series. You got 2.5 minutes to go full out, is what they call it. And I loved it. And then this is another beef I got. The Cheer Federation doesn't let the show shoot at Daytona to shoot the national championship.
They don't?
No, because they want to control the messaging so much.
Oh.
Yeah, this bizarre oligarchy of cheer freaks. Yeah.
So you don't see it in the end?
No, you see a bunch of cell phone footage and the
Oh.
footage that they give, but you don't get the great cameras that Whitley uses on like Mitt and Last Chance U. I mean, half the reason I'm in is because of the visual eye.
Yeah.
And then they fucking throw it out the window because he's over, controlling, I don't know, just people.
I bet he's fired up when he heard about that.
I'm mad. Oh, Whitley?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pissed. He's like, thanks for fucking up my fucking third act, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry for all the F-bombs, guy. I get fired up. But Jerry, thank you for just being sweeter than pie and stronger than metal. You're a great guy. Chad, who is your legend of the week?
My legend of the week is yours as well, Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant.
I think that's unanimous.
Is that your legend
yeah.
too? Let's just talk about Kobe.
Yeah.
Man, I can't. This and Paul Walker are the two that have hit me the hardest in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just when I saw an article posted from someone on Instagram, like a TMZ, and then I saw in the comments like, "Oh, this is fake," like TMZ's website crash, and I was like, "Fuck you, man! Like, why would you post something like that and keep it up? Like, what a piece of shit!" And then I Googled it more, and then more reports started coming because I saw the headline, and I was like, "There's no way."
I remember
true.
the TMZ post. It said Kobe Bryant has died or something along those lines. It just seemed like
too dry.
Yeah.
And so then I went on TMZ and I saw their website crash. And I thought the same thing, like, oh, maybe they got hacked and someone put that and now the website's down.
Right.
And then I kept Googling it because I would see other people posting about it. And then finally I saw ESPN, like, and I was like, whoa. Like,
yeah. Like sources confirmed.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
It's incredible too, because like, it's a big deal, but then when you see how big of a deal it is for like everyone, like all the teams taking a 24-second clock violation. I mean, we just found out today the Lakers are going to postpone their game. Yeah. Like, these are not normal responses to things, and it really speaks to like how much he meant to people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he was a huge. I mean, dude, growing up in SoCal, like it wasn't always this way. Shaq owned SoCal for a while. I think people forget that.
Yeah.
And then Kobe, just no one ever imposed their will like Kobe did. He literally took Southern California from Shaq, and he just reprogrammed all of our brains to always believe it was his. Yeah. And he just owned it. And I know LeBron's here now, but it feels like it will always be Kobe's.
It will always be Kobe.
Yeah, he is the Laker
20
legacy.
years in one team.
Yeah.
The amount of like rap songs he's in, the amount of like other like cultures and genres he's touched, it's incredible. Just seeing all on social media, everyone talking about it. And then for growing up in SoCal, he's huge. But like growing up in Arizona, like you almost couldn't like him because he was always beating the Suns. Yeah. And the Suns had, Amari Stoudemire and Steve Nash and Sean Marion.
That was one of him when he was at his best. He was playing with Smush Parker and Lamar Odom. He had nobody on that team. And he was just putting up 40 a game. Going nuts.
I watched the 81-point highlight today. That game was incredible.
Yeah.
He couldn't miss.
Dude, I was out of the country when that happened. I remember I went to a little computer for like the 5 minutes of internet. I go, Kobe dropped 81. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And dude, you could see he was on such a tear at that point. He put up like 63 against the Mavericks in 3 quarters.
Yeah.
Like, he was in a zone that few athletes ever get to.
And the cool thing about him, especially, it wasn't he was just an athlete. He had work ethic too. Yeah. And that's why I really like that quote. He said, like, I can't relate to lazy people. And he'd have teammates that he'd call out for being lazy, and you gotta think, like, wow, that guy's in the NBA too, and then another athlete in the NBA is calling him out for being lazy. So just his dedication to his passion in life, like how dedicated he was to the game of basketball, it's insane to think about.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. I heard he was the first guy in practice. I heard you didn't want to beat him one-on-one.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't let you go after that. He'd make you keep playing him for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Unbelievably tenacious. Best degree of difficulty shooter I've ever seen too. Like 50% of the points I feel like he scored were like really hard fadeaway shots right at like the out of bounds, like just falling away and then just like low arc, but somehow could bury him at like a pretty good rate.
Right.
Crazy. I have some funny stories. Klay Thompson told me a story that he went to Kobe's camp. You know, where Kobe, like when Klay was in high school, and so he's doing a Q&A, and Klay goes, "Kobe, do you have any weaknesses?" He goes, "No, next question." And then one time, I guess Klay was in the locker room, and this is kind of like egotistical, but it speaks to who Kobe was and what he could accomplish when he put his mind to it, regardless of how sensitive it was to his teammates sometimes. But Phil's like, "Hey, Kobe, so we're playing like Memphis tonight. I think we want to pass the ball into Powell, and then we want to dish it back out to you." And then Kobe just goes, "No, I'm going to drop 50 tonight." And then he put up 50 on him.
Did he?
Yeah. He just...
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was just a fierce competitor. And dude really did just like... I mean, when you talk to LA people about Kobe, the level of love that they have for him, it's just not even rational. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, Jordan had better numbers than Kobe. They're like, "No, he didn't." I'm like, "No, look at the numbers." They're like, "No, he didn't, dude."
Yeah.
Like, Kobe just like, I don't know, he was like a god to us.
And what's even more tragic is it feels like he was just getting started in life. Yeah. Like he had so many other, he wasn't like he retired and he was just going to rest on his laurels. Like he was like in entrepreneurship and investing and mentoring kids, coaching his daughter's basketball team.
Won an Oscar.
Yeah. Won an Oscar. I mean, this was a guy who just really took life by the horns. I mean, like in every aspect possible, and just dominated life. And it's so, he just had such a thirst for...
He felt like he could do anything. He did like kids books.
Just doing everything you can while you're here. Yeah. And that's what makes it so much more sad, is just like, you know, that this guy would have just kept living and just powering through till. Yeah.
He was special.
Yeah.
He's such a special person.
He definitely lived a life worth telling about. People are gonna talk about him forever, and that's something that's like. I think everyone, all the Stokers, could try to live a life worth telling about. That's awesome.
Have a life worth commenting on. Yeah. Dude, there's a movement now I saw it on Bieber's Instagram to change the logo to Kobe.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Dude, I like it. I like the silhouette of Kobe.
Yeah.
And I heard Jerry West doesn't like being the logo. He like never wanted it. I heard he never got paid for it.
Yeah.
Kobe was like a son to him. I'm sure he'd be happy for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people are like, someone made a good point today. They're like, if Kobe didn't die, he wouldn't be the logo. I'm like, but he did die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's gone.
Yeah.
And we want to honor him.
Yeah.
Make him the logo.
I love that.
And he was the most aesthetically like beautiful basketball player ever, so it fits for the logo.
I know, he looks so good.
Dude, when he was out there, the smoothness.
Yeah.
When he played the Magic in the finals, he threw it off the backboard to himself through a double team. It was like the creativity was insane.
Yeah.
And he could be mean, man.
Yeah.
I remember Pau Gasol was complaining a lot. He goes, tell Pau to put on his big boy pants. And he goes, I eat first, Pau eats second, Bynum eats third. But he could back it up.
And he's one of those guys too that like growing up, I saw like the end of Jordan's career pretty much. That's like when I started being able to remember. So like Kobe was pretty, I saw the end of Jordan's career. So it's like first come into like the light, watch basketball. It's like Jordan. But I mean, Kobe's the guy I watched.
Me too.
Through the majority of my, young life.
And we knew him for the majority of his life. He was in the NBA at 17, 20 seasons.
Yeah.
He spent more time being famous and being a great basketball player than he did not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember him in those Sprite commercials. Dude, he would just, sing some threes and just chug Sprite. And I was like, I need to get some Sprite ASAP.
Good looking dude.
Yeah.
Tragic, man. And then to lose his daughter in the accident too, and just the other people. My buddy Ferraro played for the baseball coach at OCC.
Oh, really?
He passed away, yeah.
Wow.
And he said he was a great guy. My heart goes out to all their families and stuff. It's truly tragic. It's crazy. Yeah. All right. What is your...
I forgot to... let me pull one up.
Keith, do you have a quote of the week or a phrase of the week for getting after it? I might not have prepared you enough for this. Do you want to take a second?
Yeah, I can think of a couple. I'll get something.
All right, I'll do my quote of the week real quick. It's a quick hitter. This is from Ambrose Bierce. It popped up after I was done working the Calm app, doing a little meditation. Speak when you are angry, and you will make the best speech you will ever regret. That's true. I got into it with my brother on Saturday at my birthday celebration, and I was drunk, and I acted like a cock. And I love my brother. He's a great guy, and I regret speaking from a place of anger. Stupid. All right.
I guess I'll just go with the one I said. Live a life worth telling about. It's a quote that I'm not sure who said it, but whoever said it was right. I don't think anyone wants to just live a boring life. So live a life worth telling about.
Yeah, get after it.
Yeah, and then you're gonna experience a lot more of life. So go do some cool things, and maybe when you're one day die, people are gonna talk about you, and that's a cool thing.
Yeah, who dares sit down to write that has not first stood up to live?
Yeah.
Unless you're ripping a fat beer bomb from the second story of one of your buddies' places. That's the only exception, dude.
Exactly.
My quote, Kobe Bryant. This relates to what you've been talking about. Everything negative, pressure, challenges is all an opportunity for me to rise.
What a beast, dude.
What a beast. His photo, he looks so good.
Yeah, it's a good photo.
Yeah.
He's in the NBA at 17. He's a kid.
Beast.
Yeah. All right. Do you guys have a phrase of the week for getting after it?
Kobe.
Nice. Phrase of the week for getting after it?
Get uncomfortable.
I like that.
Nice.
All right. Mine is from Troy. Character named Achilles. You might know something about this. Little Brad Pitt action.
Shit, do I?
Myrmidons! My brothers of the sword! I'd rather fight beside you than any army of thousands. Let no man forget how menacing we are. We are lions! Do you know what's there waiting beyond that beach? Immortality! Take it! It's yours!
And he holds up the sword.
Yeah, that's what he does. And look, did I appreciate what Achilles did after he took the beach? I mean, he had a great little melee section taking out some, good Trojan soldiers. And then, he didn't have to cut off the head of Apollo.
Yeah, that was pretty disrespectful.
That was a little too much disrespect.
Yeah.
And then he shows off with the big spear throw, and that's all well and good, taking out an enemy fair and square. But you know, his pride and his vanity kind of did get in the way, but he was a stud. So I think you have to take those things on balance.
Dude, can you do that again and we'll do the the Myrmidon cheer?
Dude, you don't know how happy it makes me for you to ask me to do it again. Myrmidons!
Ho!
My brothers of the sword.
Ho!
I would rather fight beside you than any army of thousands.
Ho! Ho!
Let no man forget how menacing we are. We are lions!
Ah!
Do you know what's there, waiting beyond that beach? Immortality. Take it. It's yours.
Ah!
That fired me up.
All right, Stokers. Yeah, good stuff.
Aaron, do you feel that?
Definitely heard it.
Are you ready to get to grasp
Aaron,
immortality?
I don't feel like you're fired up, but I feel like when you get in your car, you're going to get fired up.
You're gonna burn out of the parking lot.
It's a little depth charge inspiration.
I like it.
Thank you, brother. Dude, Kobe, rest in peace, man. Keith, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming on, dude. You're a
Thanks for
beast.
having me.
This is great.
We got to have you back on. Our friend in the back, when your job situation changes, we'll have you on as well.
Yes.
Maybe we'll revisit the great masturbation session of the early aughts.
It's a lot to unpack.
Oh yeah, or perhaps it'll be. Well, maybe we'll move on to different, more fruitful topics.
I wish I could see that in color.
Oh yeah, dude. it
Like
was epic,
JT's
dude.
masturbation in color.
Yeah.
Now compiling footage from all across the world. JT jacking off like you've never seen it before.
Really good book, David Eagleman's Some Stories from the Afterlife, and he breaks up different versions of heaven, and one of them is you have to watch all the thing you do in life in blocks. So all the time you slept, you have to watch that in blocks. And then one of them is you have to watch all the times you masturbate in one straight block. And I was like, oh, Daddy's making up about 30 years of time. I'm gonna be sitting. I'm gonna need a lot of popcorn. But I'm in a program now. I work on it. I'm a happier man. All right, are we good?
Yeah.
We good?
Thanks,
Keith, is there
dudes.
anything else you want to say?
Check out the Iditarod SEAL Future Foundation, and I appreciate you guys having me on the show. And if you, it's for a great cause, so if you guys could check it out.
Dude, can we call you? Are you gonna have your phone on you while you're racing?
I should, yeah.
Can we call you while you're racing?
Oh yeah.
We could try to make that happen.
Dude, let's
Hell
do
yeah.
that.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we'll be your on-air correspondent.
Perfect. That'd
Dude,
be
that'd be
awesome.
so cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully I have some good stories to tell you guys. Like
Yeah,
some-
dude, let us know.
Yeah, it'll be cool. So I'm excited. 350 miles. A lot could go wrong. A lot could go right. It's gonna be cold. So
Do you worry about what place you get, or is it all just about finishing in a time that
I
makes
used
sense
to care.
you?
I used to care what place I got, but there so many things can go wrong in that time that I just want to finish.
Right.
Yeah.
I hope you don't get shin splints.
Thanks. Those are real thing. I used to think they were a joke until I started running a lot.
Oh, dude, I get them.
Yeah,
I get them when I
yeah.
like do 100 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No joke. They hurt.
They
so.
hurt, bro.
It's like a concussion of the shin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just pounding. Yeah.
Dude, best of luck on
Thanks,
the
guys.
race.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll definitely give you guys a call and then I'll
Yeah.
let you know how it goes.
Absolutely.
Dude, yeah, send us photos and stuff.
For
and
sure.
yeah, we'll definitely call you as you're running, man.
For sure.
I'm really curious.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, for
Cool.
sure.
Right
Yeah.
on, dudes.
Well, thank you for all you do, man, and thank you for coming on. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
to you guys,
yeah.
man.
Yeah. It's great talking to you. Stokers, I'll see you later. That was fun.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. That was
Thank
cool.
you so much.
If you need advice,